So once you selected the entire marketing goals column, you chose insert right, and then you go ahead and type in cost basis and the items in there. Use your down arrow. It's a lot quicker than pressing tab several times. Now this is the time when they want you to add a new column between marketing goals and cost basis. Now you could, if you're in the cost basis, choose insert left. If you are in marketing goals, you could choose insert right, and you don't have to actually select the entire column. So I'll just show you real quick. If I was in marketing goals, I could just choose insert right and I get a whole new column. Another way, and this is what they want you to do, is use the insert control button, so you get a whole new column here, and then you'll fill that in, and again, use your down arrow. Once you fill those in, we're going to make some changes to this table. And if you want, you can go back to the Home tab and turn off the Show Hide so that you don't have those symbols showing. So if you look at this table, it fills the entire, from the left margin to the right margin. And you can see that the first column, platform, is probably a little too wide, and so is the budget and cost basis. So what you want to do is shrink each column to the width that it needs to be. So all you would do, again, up at the top, you have these two new tabs. If I were to leave this table and click anywhere in the paragraph above it, those two tabs go away. They're only active or visible when you're actually in the table. So now I have them back. So I'm going to choose Table Tool Design tab. But before I do that, I'm going to go back to the Table Tools layout, and there's an Auto Fit button, and I'm going to choose Auto Fit Contents, and that's going to shrink the size of the columns that are too wide. So it does make it smaller across the screen, but each column is as wide as it needs to be. All right, so now we'll go into Table Tools Design, and you have a few designs here, but if you click the More button, you have a lot more to choose from. So they're looking for Grid Table 5, and again, you have to hover over them until you see it all. And this one is Grid Table 5, and they want Accent 1, so it should be this one. Grid Table 5, Dark, Accent 1. That's the one they want you to select. And if you wanted to, you could go back and pick something else, and the one they want us to go with now is Grid Table 2, Accent 3. Grid Table 2, Accent 3, the great one. Grid Table 2, Accent 3, so that's what they want now. Then you have a section called Table Style Options, and there's a few that are already checked off. And what we're going to do is click the banded rows, and you'll see what happens. Right now it's like a lighter gray, white, lighter gray, white. If you uncheck it off, that takes them all off so that they're not different. Then for the first column, it's all in bold. So if you just uncheck first column, they want us to actually select the first column. So if you hover to the top of the table, you get that little arrow, and if you select, it highlights the entire first column. And they want the font color to be green accent 6, darker 25%. Then select the first row, and then they want blue. So go back home. Blue accent 1, darker 25%. Then we'll select both the budget and the cost basis, and we want it centered. So you'll click the center button. And the whole table should be in the middle of the document, so if you click this little button here, this will select the entire table, and there's a center button right on that, and it centers it in the middle of the report for you. And then we'll control home. It takes us back to the top. So make sure you control home so you're top of the document, and we're going to insert a picture. So click the Insert tab, Pictures, choose Online Pictures, and in the Online Pictures search box, type Meeting, Make sure you have a check mark where it has Creative Commons only. So these are allowed pictures to be borrowed rather than having to get a URL. We're also, the one they want us to look for is a sample in the book, the figures 3-18. So there are a lot to choose from in here. I found it quicker if I went to the filter button and then scroll down and I select black and white, and it just narrows down the search so you can find the picture that matches the book exactly. And then just keep scrolling down. And there you have it. Right here, select it, insert. It might be huge, don't worry, we're going to change the size of it. If you get an unknown, by unknown author, select that and then just press delete. So make sure you select the border and then press delete so it goes away. Then from this, the picture still selected. Right now we're in the home ribbon, so actually click picture format so the ribbon changes based on making changes to the picture. And what we're going to do is select the color button and then select blue accent color 1. And again, if you hover over it and it's in the recolor, we want 1. So the exact color they want is here, blue accent color 1 light. Then in the picture border, select blue accent 1. And then click away from the picture and you can see a border around the picture. So if we were to try and move the picture right now, it's very stiff to move. So what you want to do is click the upside down U. It's called Layout Options feature. And in this one, we're going to go down to where it says With Text Wrapping, and you want to choose Square. If you hover over them, it'll be square. So now it's square to the picture. See how it's even with the text? It's perfectly even, so it's square. The picture is square around the text. When you have the 4 arrows around the picture, then you're able to move the picture freely. So what they want you to do is put it under the title, and then do you see the green margin at the top of the paragraph that tells you an exact place of the top of that first paragraph? And then if you go to the edge, you'll see that you're within the margin, so that's what you want, is those green borders to show that's in perfect location, and let go. Too far to the left and it would not print. So deselect the picture. So to select the picture, double click it, and then again it shows the Picture Tools Format ribbon. And if you wanted to look at what you have for height and width, if you wanted to adjust it, again, with the sizing handles, the middle part would be just the width, the middle part on the vertical would be just the up and down, and if you do the diagonals, that would do both the width and the height at the same time. So they want you to go to 2 inches on both. So if you want, an easier way to do is just click in the size, type 2 and press enter, and then do the same thing for width. And sometimes you'll get this, and I'll show you how you can lock it in so that they stay exactly what you want, but that's fine for right now. What we're going to do is go into the size diagonal box here in the corner, and you have more choices to make things exact. So we're going to select the scale of this. So if you come down to the bottom, there's a scale. Right now it's scaled at 96%, and you want to change it to 50 for the height. And then for the width, as soon as you click in it, it matches it. So go ahead and click OK. With the picture still selected, up in the picture format size, in the width, click in there and type 1 and press enter. And it's okay if it's off just slightly on the top, it's close enough. Now we're going to reposition the picture, so you'll choose position, and the one the book is looking for is top right with square text wrapping. And then if you also click position, more layout options, in the vertical section, we want the absolute position, so I'm going to click in here, to be 0.6. So it's below the title a little bit more, and then click OK. So it moved it down a little bit. You could have dragged it too, but this, because we chose top right, but we didn't want it that much at the top, you can put in how much more you want it selected. So the last thing we want to do is put a reflected rounded rectangle shape. So under picture styles, click the down arrow, and if you hover over each one, it'll give you the names of it, and you're looking for reflected rounded rectangle, and then it has like a reflection in it. Next, we're going to work with the shape. So click so that you're below Career Connections webinar series, choose Insert and Shapes, and we're looking for a cloud icon. It's in basic shapes, and then if you hover over it, it'll say the name of it. Go ahead and click it. You don't get the cloud, you get a plus sign for your mouse, and you're just going to drag and just create one. Don't worry about what size it is, we're going to resize it anyway. They want the height approximately 1 inch, so now I'm going to come in here and just increase it to 1, and then the width is 2 inches wide. So you can always make adjustments later. Now this is very dark, so we're going to go into Shape Styles, the down arrow, and they're looking for colored green, so you just have to hover over until you see it. Colored fill green accent 6. Perfect. And then we'll go into Shape Effects, and under Preset, select Preset 5. And you can hover over to see which ones you like. They want us to change the height, so in the height, 0.8, enter, and for the width, 1.2, enter. And then we'll choose the layout options, and they want tight. So this one's tight, so it moves the text around the picture but keeps it close. And the next thing we'll do is right-click on the, we can close out of here, right-click on the picture and choose Add Text, and you're actually going to type great idea with exclamation point. And then you can click away from it. Scroll down to the social media advertising campaign, and we're going to do another shape, Insert, Shapes, and this time from where recently used shapes, I'm going to use the rectangle shape. And again, we're going to size it. And it doesn't matter what size because we're going to change it. They asked for 0.6, so if you click in here, I was pretty close, and 1.2, and enter. And if you hover over the arrow, with the arrows on the picture, you can move it freely around, and they want it moved to the far right. Again, notice the green markers for the right margin and the top of the paragraph margin. And then just make sure you can see both your cloud shape and your new rectangle shape. And then, of course, we're going to change it. So if you click the cloud one and go back to the Home tab, you're going to choose Format Painter and then click the rectangle. So what it did is it formatted both the color, the shading that we used, and also the reflection, which is that preset. The only thing it didn't do is change the shape, not yet. What we'll do now, with the rectangle just selected, click the draw